While everyone was distracted by the mainstream media's latest news cycles, Prince Andrew was accused of sexually abusing a 12-year-old girl and 10-year-old boy during a diplomatic visit to Ukraine earlier this year. TV9 News India reports that Jeffrey Epstein's close friend Prince Andrew was part of the delegation that visited the war-torn country during British Foreign Minister James Cleverly's visit earlier this year. But rather than reporting on the credible allegations coming out of Ukraine against Prince Andrew, the media have done everything they can to cover up the scandal, protect the abusers, and ensure the global child sex trafficking network, which is worth hundreds of billions of dollars per year, remains an open secret. Before we dive in, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and join the People's Voice Locals community for exclusive and uncensored videos, and to join us in our mission to awaken the masses. Earlier this year, Prince Andrew joined Foreign Minister James Cleverly's British delegation to Ukraine, shocking many who believed Andrew's days as a diplomat were over. Why would the British prince, famed for his interest in underage children, insist on visiting war-torn Ukraine? A whistleblower who worked with the Organisation for Security and Cooperation in Europe, OSCE, revealed in a video interview that Ukrainian Nazi groups are harvesting the organs of children in basement labs that are being discovered after buildings are destroyed by Russian strikes. According to Vera Vayman, who shared her testimony about what she personally witnessed during her time in Ukraine, the children are shipped out of the country under a grain export code. Warning, this is very disturbing information.
Существовали лаборатории у защитников Украины. Это нацбаты, они, соответственно, занимались, они получали процент со сделки свой, и они занимались тем, что убивали детей. Органы они помещали в контейнеры дальше продавались, соответственно, и под экспортным кодом зерна вывозились. Мы ликвидировали 8 лабораторий, а они представляли из себя нечто похожее на то, что мы называем подвалами. В основном мы уже были после зачистки. То есть, когда лаборатория была обнаружена, и, как правило, это было после взрыва. То есть мы заходили на пепелище, там были трупы, там были дети. Препарированы. То есть детки были разрезаны.
Ukraine is the global epicenter of the child sex trafficking and adrenochrome industries, which are destroying the lives of millions of children every year. After this quick break, an eyewitness from Kiev opens up about the criminal and predatory behaviour of the British prince while he was in Ukraine. According to the Kremlin, the Kiev regime has been earning hundreds of millions of dollars per year by raising children in degrading factory farm conditions and selling them to the highest bidder on the international market, no questions asked. It is understood that most of the buyers are VIP paedophiles like Prince Andrew, with elite connections. As the People's Voice reported in March this year, Russian soldiers made a series of hideous discoveries inside Ukraine, where children between the ages of 2 and 7 are being raised in factory farm conditions. According to those on the ground in Ukraine, these children are sold as sex slaves to elite paedophiles, and those who don't find buyers are carved up like discarded waste, and their organs are harvested and sold for use at European and Israeli transplant centers.
У меня группа, да, получается, собирала детей казенных, маленьких, от 3 до 6 до 7 лет, и привозила именно вот в этот пункт. Там их раздевали на 1-м этаже, а на втором их раздевали. Как ненужный материал, их просто хранили там в ямах и никуда не вывозили. И вот эти ребята, они, знаете, говорили, как будто они как будто какую-то скотину завалили, поросенка или там кролика, да. Ну, они, да, привозили, как будто какая-то ферма, понимаете, вот эта имплантация, да. Забирали органы. Слышал об этом, но не верил. Пока своими глазами не увидишь, не поймешь. А когда увидишь, не простишь.
James Abassi, a Nigerian man working in a nightclub in Kiev that deals with super VIP clients, says that Prince Andrew and his entourage attended the club during his visit to Ukraine. Later in the evening, Prince Andrew's entourage dispersed, leaving him alone in a private room with two very young children.
You know, because of my English skills, I'm usually asked to serve special clients when VIP guests from Europe visit the club. About an hour later, some armed men wearing camo came and frisked me. And this is something that usually happens ever since the war started in Ukraine. Then I was asked to be taken to a close part of the club together with the director. He told me that I should be very polite and accommodating to this super VIP that was coming. And trust me, usually I have no idea of who I'm going to serve, but this time around I was able to recognize the guest. It was Prince Andrew.
Prince Andrew travelled the world with Jeffrey Epstein during the convicted paedophile's glory years, and very little has changed. According to Abassi, Prince Andrew is now interested in even younger children than he was when he was spending time with Epstein's sex slaves.
And honestly, when I saw him, I was really shocked. At first, he wasn't alone. There were some people with him. However, after a couple of hours, the people left and Andrew was the only one left in the room. Thought the whole party was over. Just then, a guy wearing a uniform entered the room with two little children. I think their ages, from the way they look, would be about 10 or 11, at most 12 years, but within that range. It was a boy and a girl. Andrew started talking to them, asking their names. The girl introduced herself as Alina and the guy Dimitri. Andrew politely asked me to bring something for the kids, so I quickly rushed to go get some cheesecakes, pancakes, you know, the usual snacks for kids. But while I was doing that, I was still confused. I didn't know what kids would be doing in such a place at such a time. I go back with the staff 5 minutes later and I saw something very disturbing.
According to those on the ground in Ukraine, children such as Alina and Dimitrio do not have identities or official papers, and this makes them a paedophile's dream because, in a legal sense, they